That was it. I want to explore the word experimental, if we could, connecting it with the idea of ideas in theatre, because for me, experimental is a funny old word. I cannot conceive of a creative enterprise that is not experimental. You go into a rehearsal space, you're working with a piece of work, you don't know how it's going to turn out. Now that is an experiment. You're working with a group of people who might never have worked together in that configuration before. That is an experiment. The idea of something that is not experimental in that context, I cannot even envision. The idea of trying to repeat something, perhaps, might be not experimental. The idea of using a previously inhabited form might not be experimental. And maybe there are people who are proud of not doing experimental work and repeating those patterns all the time. But it is a real danger. So I try with my work, if I do anything with my work, is I try and go back to the very beginning and ask a few questions. And one of the questions I will ask is, why is theatre the right medium for what I want to do? And I can talk a lot about why I think theatre is the right medium for what I want to do. And once I've assured myself that I'm still in the right medium, then I start to build up from scratch. I'm very lucky that I have two fantastic collaborators whose job in the rehearsal period is to ask me lots of questions, is to interrogate everything that happens. It doesn't feel experimental at all. I have an image of what these people, that journalist, might think what experimental theatre makers might do. You know, they might come in wearing their trousers back to front. I can't imagine what other than a normal rehearsal process could be in terms of the word experimental. I worry as well about labels, and I think they're very dangerous things. And it's very hard, Johnny, to introduce someone, because as soon as you introduce someone, then you as an audience will start having a relationship with that person before they've arrived, before they're here, before they're in the moment of the meeting. And I've encountered a couple of situations. There's one story I will tell you about a director who directed a production of Othello at the Bristol Old Vic. And he really screwed things up, I think, in the rehearsal process. By on the first day, the actor who was playing Othello was a very famous actor called Geoffrey Kissoon. And the first day was a read-through, but before the read-through was a saying hello, introductions. And the director, famously in my mind, said to the rest of the cast, "This is Geoffrey Kissoon. He, in my opinion, is a genius." Now, as far as any kind of ensuing creative dialogue, where do you go with that? What the hell do you do? How do you work in a creative open space with someone who is being described to you as a genius? In the notion of a dialogue, you know, there has to be a present moment in the dialogue. And if the dialogue has already begun before you enter it, you're in trouble. We were in Hong Kong earlier this year with 3 different shows of mine. And Hong Kong, well, they sent initially the material, publicity material, had a picture of my big bald head. And my head had been chopped in half and was open like this, and had a photograph from one of my plays coming out of it. And the strapline was, "The theatrical experience of a lifetime." So you're walking down the street, you see a poster with a man's head split in half with the theatrical experience of a lifetime. I'll buy a ticket for that, yes please. It'd be lovely. You sit in your chair, you go, "I'm going to have a theatrical experience of a lifetime." You start to slightly hyperventilate because you're so excited. I then walk on stage, and it's just me. It's just me. And it's gone, in a way. The thing that I value most about theatre, which is this relationship now between you and me, it's wrought afresh every time, because we are different every time. You are different people, or I am in a different place. It is a different time. And as soon as you start to fix those things down, and in a way the relationship becomes in the past. It becomes in the past, and I have to struggle, we have to struggle to get past the past and into the present moment. So you don't have theatrical experience for a lifetime, theatrical experience for a lifetime, theatrical experience for a lifetime buzzing around in your head. And we have a genuine relationship. So I want to think about that a little bit. This is again about the ego and the brain. we have to be careful because there's something live and present about an idea in theatre that is in danger of being squashed if we do too much to it before it appears. Liveness is the only thing for me. It is the thing that distinguishes this medium from almost any other, from film certainly, from television certainly. It's the fact and the sense for an audience that what they're witnessing now, they will never be seen again. It is just for them. It is different, and their involvement in it will also change it. It is not a fixed object. So all my work is about trying to uphold that notion of liveness. So in an oak tree, there's an actor who's never seen the play, who is making decisions that might traditionally have been made over a 6-week rehearsal period, but are being made then and there, in the moment, on stage with you. Any transformation that happens in that play kind of happens now, happens then, and it hasn't happened carefully over a 6-week rehearsal period. Or, perhaps more importantly, it hasn't happened in the wings, with perhaps Patrick Stewart going, I'm a CEO, I've just been approved a massive raise. I'm a CEO, I've just been approved a massive raise. I'm a CEO, I've just been approved Mr. Stewart, yes, this is your call. I'm a CEO, I've just been approved. I can't begin to compete with Patrick Stewart. Because the transformation has happened there. Do you know what I mean? And that implies then for you that you've got nothing to do with it. And it's all packed into the actor and the glorious, special, incredible, genius, theatrical lifetime of an experience of a lifetime actor who has done all that work and then presents you with the finished object. So trying to prevent that is a very important thing for me, because I am so passionate about theatre and its transformative abilities. But I am passionate about those abilities here and now, not in books or on posters. I know it's difficult because people have to sell shows, but I'm interested in how far we can go without having to buy into the ego of this form that we sometimes can experience. I want to give you another photograph. So this is, this is Fonzie. This is Henry Winkler, everyone. And Henry Winkler, he's a bit cut off, I'm afraid, because in the book there were like 4 pictures of Henry Winkler doing different acting. I was about to be dismissive of what Henry Winkler was doing. I'm really, really sorry. This is Henry Winkler, the thing that he is acting here so beautifully is you are just hearing from your accountant that the silver mining tax shelter you've been declaring for the past 5 years has been disallowed by the IRS. Quite something, really. That's why I feel a fraud standing here. Here's another Henry Winkler. This is Henry Winkler, and the scenario he's acting is you are taking a late night shortcut through a back alley in a bad neighbourhood. and this is my favourite Winkler. This is just for its subtlety alone, really, is my favourite. You are the best and most hated girl in class, basking in parental applause after a solo recital. It's Henry Winkler. So this issue then of unpacking some of the things that I feel we have got stuck in. This kind of stuff that we are stuck in, about what acting is and what theatre is. And wanting to go right back to the beginning again, and to the basics again. And for me, I think profoundly, still, is the notion of a story. Or is this notion, is of somebody here and some people there, and this person may be talking and needing these people to make sense of what they're saying.